Carl Sagan could not have predicted 2021, but he did see it coming. He wrote the following back in 1995, and we quote, "I have a foreboding of an America in my children's or grandchildren's time when the United States is a service and information economy, when nearly all the manufacturing industries have slipped away to other countries, when awesome technological powers are in the hands of a very few, and no one representing the public interest can even grasp the issues, when the people have lost the ability to set their own agendas or knowledgeably question those in authority, when, clutching our crystals and nervously consulting our horoscopes, our critical faculties in decline, unable to distinguish between what feels good and what's true, we slide almost without noticing back into superstition and darkness. The dumbing down of America is most evident in the slow decay of substantive content in the enormously influential media, the 30-second sound bites now down to 10 seconds or less, lowest common denominator programming, credulous presentations on pseudoscience and superstition, but especially a kind of celebration of ignorance." Roll that around for a while. Those were among his final published words. He died 10 months later. Here we are 25 years later, realizing just what he was trying to tell us back then.
Malaysian 370, contact Ho Chi Minh 120.9. Good night.
Good night, Malaysian 370.
Breaking news tonight, a Malaysia Airlines flight with 239 people on board, including 4 Americans, has gone missing.
Scripture, the Bhagavad Gita. Vishnu is trying to persuade the prince that he should do his duty, and to impress him takes on his multi-armed form and says, "Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds."
Okay, we're back, guys. Sorry about that. It's not me. That was StreamYard. Guys, thank you very much for being here. TGIF, everybody. Welcome to the live stream. We have another great show for you here tonight. We are going to be talking about Project Ripple, aneutronic fusion, the development of the H-bomb. We're going to be talking about attosecond lasers, a brand new scientific paper that just popped up as well. In addition to that, I've got plenty of politics for you as well. We've got Trump blasting more Venezuelan drug narcos. We've got Antifa is about to get rolled on by the military. Yes, I'm not even kidding. They're going to get rolled on by the military. And we've got transgender propaganda on Netflix. We've got Tucker Carlson talking about the Jews are creating AI. And Candace and Friends gets completely exposed as zero IQ flat earthers. Yes, all real. Guys, I have taken, for my haters out there, I have listened to your feedback. And I've decided I'm going to make no changes whatsoever. I don't care about your opinions, and I'm going to do whatever the hell I want, just like always. Just want to get that down straight. Okay, guys, right off the bat, let's start with this narco-terrorist situation. The narco-terrorist situation here is pretty interesting. Where is it? Where's my narco-terrorist clip? Here it is. The narcos are not having a good day, chat. The narcos are not having a good day. And I'm going to play this on slow-mo here for you. We're going to play this on like half speed because like you don't mess with the United States. Anybody who tries to mess with the United States, completely obliterated. I mean, take a look at this. Let's go full screen on this. Ooh, man, can I get some popcorn ready for this? Look at this. Apparently this boat was leaving Venezuela. You can almost see like the light change right there for a second. Watch how fast this happens. Whoa, holy crap. I mean, what was that? What was that? I want to see it again. Let me see it again, chat. I know this is pretty morbid to be like cheering this on, but these are drug smugglers. These are drug smugglers. Now, a lot of people have been saying that, oh, this is a war crime. This is illegal. A lot of the liberals, I mean, Trump has got these people wrapped around his finger. He can basically convince them to support any sick cause that he wants. He just has to be against it. And so you see, like, you know, nut job Keith Olbermann going, this is a war crime. This is not a war crime. Nothing about this is illegal. Nothing about this is illegal. These are not American citizens. They're not American land. If you get designated a terrorist, we can basically do whatever we want. So you may like that. You may not like that, but that's how it works. So this is why I say, like, in the situation of MH370, for example, what we did to that plane is probably not even illegal. It's probably not even illegal. It probably should be, but it's not. So expect a lot more of this to come in the future because that's the future. If you're a Venezuelan drug lord, that's your future right there. And I'm going to be honest, it's only going to get worse. And just in case anyone is delusional enough to think that they can do anything about this, they can do absolutely nothing whatsoever. They just have to capitulate. That's it. That's all. Now, I'm going to change it up a little bit, guys. We're going to actually go and talk about science first here tonight. We're going to talk about science here first, and then we'll get into the drama and the politics after that. Okay? And I've got some fun clips to play. So, first thing I want to show you guys is Tri-Alpha Energy. So, let me give you the rundown on my perspective of what happened with the A-bomb. My perspective from my own research, my opinion, is that we built the A-bomb in the 40s, right? We dropped it on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Boom, big boom, big boom. And then after that, we were developing the H-bomb, hydrogen bomb, fusion bomb. Hydrogen bomb's a fusion bomb, not a fission bomb, but a fusion bomb. And we figured out from the fusion bomb how to manipulate space-time, or at least the concept of manipulating space-time. We probably already knew about it theoretically before then, but that was the point where we hit energy densities, energy requirements that are actually needed to really manipulate space-time. That's my opinion on what happened. And if I'm right about this, then aneutronic fusion, and somebody just pointed the ether bomb is a good way to put it. Aneutronic fusion would be the secret to this. Why? Because aneutronic fusion is taking out the neutrons from your fusion reaction. Remove your neutrons from your fusion reaction. Now you're left with pure energy. And pure electricity, pure energy is what we would need to be more efficient in order to actually manipulate space-time. We basically, in order to manipulate space-time, we have to get these huge energy requirements, but we also have to be super efficient. It needs to be super efficient. So what I've been looking for when it comes to fusion is the aneutronic fusion companies. The aneutronic fusion companies. Which ones are the aneutronic ones that are working on fusion energy with minimal to no neutrons? And the two that I found, I mean, there may be more than two. Commonwealth is I'm kind of wondering what Commonwealth is really doing, if they're just not telling the truth. But the two major ones are Tri-Alpha Energy and helium fusion. So before we look at Project Ripple, I want to take a quick look at Tri-Alpha Energy. We actually haven't looked at Tri-Alpha Energy very much. And someone sent me, if you sent me this, I apologize. I'm not trying to like not give you credit. I just don't remember who sent this to me. But this right here is a flip book, executive summary, The field reverse configuration. Can I make this bigger? How does this work? Let me see. Yeah, I think we're stuck at this size. I'll go full screen on it in a bit. The field reverse configuration, a promising path to aneutronic fusion. 2024. This is last year. Now, keep in mind, these people figured out aneutronic fusion a long, long time ago. So if I'm correct, then we figured it out in like the 60s. In the 60s. And so for somebody to post this and be like, hey, here's the path to aneutronic fusion in 2024, they're about 60 years too late, right? About 62 years too late. Anyway, let's take a look at it. So About Tri-Alpha Energy, founded in 1998 in Irvine, California, more than 400 employees globally. So pretty small company. As with the space race, fusion is the genesis, a number of pillars of technological innovation. Energy transportation and storage, clean fusion, cellular radiation therapy. What? Cancer treatment? You guys see that on the right? I did not expect to read cancer treatment on here as well. So we can use aneutronic fusion for cancer treatment. Hidden Yahtzee chat, secret Yahtzee, I totally did not expect. Somebody in the chat saying they used to work here in IT. That's funny. Executive summary. The field reverse configuration is ideally suited to burn aneutronic fuels. Now, once again, people have been saying, Ashton, why have you not been talking about plasmoids? I am talking about plasmoids. Field reverse configuration is plasmoid. They've just renamed these things, and they keep renaming them over time. The same way that they got rid of cold fusion, and then they started calling it low energy nuclear reactions, lattice confinement fusion, and now aneutronic fusion is somewhere between hot fusion and cold fusion, where it's really cool fusion. Norman holds a field reverse configuration plasma in an easily accessible linear device. So they shoot these plasmas on either end, and then they kind of mix together and combine and form this weird shape in the middle. And then they have these neutral beam injectors that like keep it spinning, keep it going. Now, the thing about it, though, is that it produces these axial jets. Like the plasma, it has exhaust it's trying to escape. And this is what makes it useful for propulsion. So field reverse configuration plasmas actually began with propulsion technology in the 90s. I mean, maybe it goes further than that, but from the public perspective. Now, look at this on the right here. I'm going to make this bigger for a second. Take a look at this on the right. This says, starting fusion with the end in mind. What features would we like from an ideal fusion reaction? Low temperatures, aka cool fusion, guys. High reactivity, benign products, reactants are benign, reactants are abundant, and no neutron yield. Exactly what I've been saying. No waste, no weapon proliferation. So what they're saying here is going to be no radiation. It's not going to be like melt your face off. And this is why the dumb, stupid, hot fusion people that are basically like the equivalent of the Candace and Owens flat earthers of the fusion community, they're like, how can someone be near one of these reactors? It's going to be super radiate. It's going to radiate you and blah, 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 turn you into a mutant from Fallout or whatever. No, it's not. Like literally the whole point of it is that it's non-radioactive. That's what it's not releasing any neutrons. And then look on the right here. The first one, if you've been watching me, you are now experts. If you've been watching me, you're now experts on aneutronic fusion. And you should have memorized, by the way, there better not be any low IQ anti-Semites or conspirators in here. Get out. Get out right now if you're in here. You're not allowed to watch this live stream. This is only for high IQ futurists. I should have said that at the beginning. I'll give you 1 second to get out. Okay, now that they're gone, chat. Now that they're gone. Okay, shh. You should know there's 3 aneutronic fusion fuels. 1, helium-3. Helium-3 is one of them. 2, boron-11. Boron-11 is number 2. And number 3 is lithium-6. That's it. We've found no other aneutronic fusion fuels, just those 3. The first one, obviously lithium is very interesting because it's related to MH370. And yeah, maybe lithium-6 and lithium-7 can both possibly qualify. Helium-3 is interesting because they've been talking about mining helium-3 on the moon. And helium-3 is super rare on Earth. So that I just find that to be really interesting. So in here it says the first one is helium-3. Actually, no, this is a deuterium-tritium reaction that produces helium-4 is the first one right at the bat. And then at the bottom here it says PB11 fusion is the end goal of tri-alpha energy, which is actually boron-11 plus a proton that produces helium-4 and some extra energy. And when I was talking to Bob Grenier about this, he's like, well, what do you think helium-4 is? He's like, it's basically just air. It's basically just air. I mean, you release some helium-4, just, basically the equivalent of just releasing some gas into the air. So boron-11 is the end product goal. And the reason why boron-11 is so significant is because it's abundant everywhere. So the whole problem of helium-3 on the moon goes away. That goes away. So this is the future. You guys, this is the future right here. If you're somebody interested in energy production, investing in energy production, it's going to be boron-11 aneutronic fusion. All the other fusion is going to be garbage. It's going to be garbage. I mean, it might work, but it's going to be garbage compared to boron-11 fusion, which is the goal. Okay. It says boron-11 reactivity is super high. I'm going to kind of go a little faster through this. Boron-11 in a magnetically confined plasma. Now, keep in mind, this is also what Lockheed Martin was doing as well. Lockheed Martin never said what their fusion source was. I can't at least find any sources for it, but they did use a field reverse configuration. We know because they talked about high beta value. High beta value is one of the consistent properties of a field reverse configuration. So Lockheed Martin was working on this same thing. Now look at this bottom right this right image there. This looks extremely similar to what we expect the object inside the MH370 orbs to look like. A series of rings. You can see this series of rings. And the Lockheed Martin compact fusion reactors, but basically a series of rings that like different shapes as they go and they kind of elongate. So we can see that that's what the field reverse configuration is meant to look like. And it even says field reverse configurations are super diamagnetic devices. Average beta is 90% or higher, nearly 100% beta value. And this is the real secret for why field reverse configurations can work. Chat, honestly, I might be starting to become one of the world's leading experts on aneutronic fusion reactors. I mean, how many people even know about all this? You guys, honestly, you guys in the chat probably know more about aneutronic fusion than 99.999% of people. You probably know more than most hot fusion people know. From pulsed operation to steady state. So field reverse configurations for many years were inherently pulse devices. TAE has developed technology to run a field reverse configuration in a steady state. So what they're saying is previously we could only pulse these to make them work. But now we figured out a way where we can keep it continuously running. We can have it continuously run. As opposed to just shoot it together and then it creates a little bit of energy. But now we've got a way where we can just get it and then we've got our plasmoid and it's just going. Right? Like the miniature sun, basically. Yeah, and there it is. Neutral beam injectors, NBI injectors. And then you can see their device here as well. Okay. Now, I think that's good enough on this. Let me show now real quick. And I have a video for Tri-Alpha Energy, which is pretty cool that shows it. And I'll kind of explain it. TAE. Here it is. So here's the animation from Tri-Alpha Energy that we've got on the screen here. You guys can find this online, this image of Tri-Alpha Energy, and it's basically showing their elongated fusion reactor, and it shoots the plasmoid from either end, and then it meets in the middle, and the plasmoids hit each other in the middle. They form this blob, almost like a tube. You can see through this tube, and it just starts to spin. and it spins. And what they do is they have these injectors then. So it forms a blob, starts to spin, and then these injectors start to add to it to keep it stabilized. And you can see it. So in this image here, they're showing these injectors, and it basically looks like little jets that are forcing this plasmoid to spin around. So it's basically just a tube. And once the injector stopped, then the plasmoid dissipates and disappears. How crazy is that? This is like, you're just seeing it right here on your screen. That's it. And now, if you want to wonder, okay, how are the MH370 orbs working? Basically, what they figured out is they figured out a way to stabilize the plasmoid, potentially even without the neutral beam injectors, or it's a device within a compact fusion reactor that has those built into it. One of the two. I suspect they just figured out how to do it where they can spin this up, and now this ball of plasma can just move around wherever they want, and it stays stable for a significant period of time. For a very significant period of time. Okay, so now you got a little rundown on neutronic fusion. You got a rundown on how tri-alpha energy, and by the way, this is exactly what helium fusion is doing as well. Once those companies go IPO, we're gonna literally break the stock market. I can't wait. I'm gonna live stream the IPO of tri-alpha energy and helium fusion, and we're literally going to break the stock market. It's going to be amazing. And everybody in the chat's going to say, Ashton Forbes was right. Ashton Forbes was right. I can't wait. Going to be awesome. Okay, one more side quest before we take a look at the Ripple technology. So this is something I'm going to post probably tomorrow. I haven't had a full opportunity to read this yet, but this is just a little sneak peek. We have a lot of science for you guys here today. A lot of science. Take a look at this brand new scientific paper. Attosecond quantum uncertainty dynamics and ultra-fast squeezed light for quantum communication. Oh boy, that is a lot of buzzwords that we like to talk about right there. Let me break this down for you. Attosecond lasers, as Salvatore Pais mentioned, can produce energy densities that can manipulate space-time. Why? Because it's all about density. How do you increase your density? One way you can increase energy density is reducing time. The shorter your time interval, the higher your energy density. So the faster your laser beams, which is what an attosecond laser is, extremely fast, you've now increased your energy density. And then squeezed light. Ooh, squeezed light, chat. And just for no reason, I'm just going to say, yes, ER equals EPR. We should be saying that probably every day. ER equals EPR. But squeezed states of light. Remember, what was it that Eric W. Davis was saying? What are the ways to produce negative energy? What are the ways to produce negative energy, chat? Oh, squeezed states of light. Squeezed states of light, where you separate the positive and negative energy aspects of the light beam, can produce negative energy, which is exactly what we need for a warp drive or a wormhole. So when I read this, and then what's the last word in this sentence? For quantum communication. Oh, yes. Quantum communication. So when we're talking about quantum communication, what are we talking about? We're talking about using EPR, Einstein-Podolsky-Rosen quantum entanglement, to literally produce a communication system. Now, if you haven't been paying attention or watching my live streams very much, let me reiterate, we can use quantum entanglement to communicate faster than light. 100%. Anybody that doubts that, well, get your apology forms ready. Get those apology forms ready. Ashton Forbes was right. I learned it from John Kramer from University of Washington, professor emeritus at physics. He's an experimental nuclear physicist. And the way that it works is that we can set up a switch. The problem is people say, oh, you can't do faster than light communication or instantaneous transmission of communication. But we know that it's possible. Quantum teleportation has been proven for many years. Proven. But people say, well, the issue is you have your two entangled systems, right? So if I impact one on my right, then it changes the one on the left. It may be if I move this one up, then this one goes down, something like this. So then people say, well, the problem is the moment you try to measure it, the entanglement breaks. That's true. So this is a problem. How do we create a communication system when the moment I try to measure it, it breaks down? How do we do that? The answer is in, of course, the DIRDs, the Defense Intelligence Reference Documents. The DIRDs have every answer you could possibly want in them. They have every answer. Read the non-locality DIRD by John Kramer, and he just has the answer right in that paper. The DIRD has the answer right in that paper. You build a switch. We don't measure. How do you communicate between the two? Well, what you do is on one side of your communication protocol, you build a switch. You build a switch in one side of your communication protocol. And then what you do is you force the measurement to change the outcome. And then what you say is, okay, now I've got a situation where either my wave function breaks down because there's a measurement that's performed, or the wave function doesn't break down. So now what you've done is you've created a 1 and a 0. Simple as that, a 1 and a 0. So now if you can control this switch and make it so that you can have the wave function break down and collapse at will, now you've created binary code. Now you can send Morse code. Now you can send computer code. Now you've created a communication, a practical method of communication. And what this allows for, what is the practical capability of this, is that what you can do now, I like to explain, like, what does this look like? Because are we then communicating back in time? No. What we would be able to do is we can control the Mars rover from Earth in real time. So what that would mean is, and this is crazy because it takes light like 8 minutes or something, or 3 minutes, I don't know the exact time, to get from Earth to Mars. So there should be a 3-minute delay, even at the speed of light. But with a quantum communication system, you can control the Mars rover. You can have a camera on the Mars rover, and you can be controlling it, and it'll move in real time. So you can bypass the whole delay. So what this does is it removes lag. Lag goes away entirely. So imagine, and there will be a quantum internet. And by the way, it will be called the Ethernet. We've already dubbed it. Anybody that tries to call it anything else, they're wrong. They're just objectively wrong. The Ethernet is what it's called, just like an Ethernet cable, but with an A in front of it. So it's going to be called, the quantum internet's going to be called the Ethernet. We've dubbed it. We're the first. It's like we're Christopher Columbus of the Ethernet. We've called it the Ethernet. There you go. There will be no lag whatsoever. You can play Call of Duty against, or StarCraft against the Korean kids or whatever with no lag whatsoever. And then you can lose even faster, even better, because the Koreans never lose at StarCraft. They're just simply the best. It's like in their DNA or something. I don't know. Don't ask me. It's science. Okay. I just want to read the abstract. I'm going to take a look at this over the weekend, and I may do like a video on it or a follow-up on this. Advancements in quantum optics and squeezed light generation have revolutionized various fields of quantum science over the past 3 decades, with notable applications such as gravitational wave detection. Chat, I'm getting a little chubby. I'm getting a little chubby in my pants, chat. Here we extend the use of light, squeezed light, to the realm of ultra-fast quantum science. We demonstrate the generation of the shortest ultra-fast synthesized quantum light pulses spanning 0.33 to 0.73 petahertz, I think, by a degenerate 4-wave mixing nonlinear process. No way, chat. No way. That is exactly what the orbs are doing in the MH370 videos. It's 4-wave degenerate mixing. 4-wave degenerate mixing. What happens in 4-wave degenerate mixing is you have your pump waves. Your pump waves enter a nonlinear medium, and then you can shoot a beam into that nonlinear medium, and no matter what angle you shoot it at, a beam will come out the opposite way automatically. Doesn't even matter what angle you shoot it at. Automatically. That's what four-wave mixing is. We haven't talked about four-wave mixing in a while. So, I mean, this is like basically every buzzword we've ever mentioned rolled up into one scientific paper right here. I'm going to have to go deep dive into this later. Experimental metrology, I don't know what that means. Results confirm that these pulses exhibit amplitude squeezing, which is consistent with theoretical predictions. So I think what they're saying here is the amplitude squeezing will allow us to get negative energy. Moreover, we observe the temporal dynamics of amplitude uncertainty of the squeezed light, demonstrating that quantum uncertainty of light is controllable and tunable in real time. Holy smokes. Holy smokes. Additionally, we demonstrate control over the quantum state of light by switching between amplitude and phase squeezing. Yeah, this is the switch, I think. I think they're talking about the switch right here. I think they're talking about this is how they built the switch to do the communication. We demonstrate control over the quantum state of light by switching between amplitude and phase squeezing. Our ability to generate and manifest ultra-fast squeeze synthesized light waveforms with attosecond resolution unlocks exciting possibilities for quantum technologies, including petahertz scale, secure quantum communications, quantum computing, ultra-fast spectrometry. As a result, or as an example, we introduce an attosecond quantum encryption protocol leveraging squeeze synthesized light for secure digital communications at unprecedented speeds. This work paves the way for exploring quantum uncertainty dynamics and establishes the foundation for the emerging ultra-fast and attosecond quantum science fields. Holy crap. Chat, we find the best science. Whoever sent me that, gold star for the day for you, sir, or ma'am. Gold star for the day for you. That is my kind of scientific paper. That's a scientific paper that gets me from half staff to full staff, if you know what I'm talking about. I don't like normie scientific papers. I like scientific papers that are talking about attosecond lasers, quantum communications, manipulating space-time and negative energy. That's what I like. Okay. Ooh. Now, Ripple project. Okay. So, as I said before, Project Ripple was essentially trying to produce a clean fusion bomb. Clean fusion bomb. So I had Grok do some research for me, pull up some data. For the people that are like having AI psychosis out there, please allow me for one moment to explain how AI works. I had to literally do a training on AI. Like, our company is making us do trainings on AI because people are getting AI psychosis and they don't know like what AI is. And the questions are actually like ridiculous. Like, people really think that AI is like some real sentient thing. It's just basically searching databases. Language learning models are just able to search databases. So you can't have AI tell you the secrets of the universe, at least not yet. But you can have it query data and pull it back. So the things you should be using AI for is imagining, like, if you want to pull data back, have the AI pull that data back for you. So let's first start with who are the people that were part of the Ripple project. So John Knuckles from Lawrence Livermore Laboratory, lead nuclear designer who proposed the Ripple concept in April of 1962. He designed and oversaw the key tests, including Pamlico, Ripple 2, and Ripple 3, and to develop the core technical elements like pusherless high-gain fusion targets and driver pulse shaping for optimized compression. Now, we spoke about John Knuckles. He just won the Enrico Fermi Award like last year, 2024. He just won that award. He didn't show up in person. I personally suspect that he's in a hyperbaric time chamber somewhere. They're keeping his body frozen until they can, have life longevity. It's really weird that all these nuclear scientists are like in their 90s. In their 90s, he just doesn't show up and somebody else just reads his award thing for him. Obviously, I'm joking here, guys, so let's dial it back a little bit. I know I've been catering to the schizos a little much, but there you go. John Foster Jr., director of Lawrence Livermore, or LRL, I think that's Lawrence Radiation Laboratory, who provided leadership, inspiration, and support for Knuckles' work. Oh, Knuckles thanked John Foster, actually. He thanked him. He facilitated the approval process for including Ripple tests in Operation Dominic and advocated for continued development after the tests. I also want to make a quick announcement here. I am currently working on another Hard Truths podcast with somebody who's been on the podcast before, where we will potentially have a really cool format where we bounce ideas off each other based on this person's expertise and knowledge of history and nuclear weapons development, and then the research that MH370X and myself have discovered. So take a look at that. Probably in the next month is when that's going to happen. And yes, I did lock in the Stephen Greer interview. That will potentially happen. I'm not going to announce exactly when, but I'll let you know when it's done. Okay. Harold Brown. In fact, I'm going to just go ahead and show this here for you guys can see. I'm just reading off the this feed here. Take a look at this. Okay. Harold Brown, former leader of the Lawrence Radiation Laboratory Thermonuclear Design Division, who mentored Knuckles. As the DoD's Director of Defense Research and Engineering, he influenced the project by requesting maximum yield devices suitable for missiles like the Titan II. Edward Teller, there he is, fam. If you don't know who Edward Teller is, Teller-Ulam device. The thermonuclear Teller-Ulam device is named after Edward Teller. He's the father of the thermonuclear weapon. Prominent physicists who urged research into high-yield warheads for high-altitude effectiveness in December of 1961. He predicted major advances by 1965 and pushed for additional ripple tests. Now, this is interesting. This is interesting. As we're going to find here in a minute, right after this in 1962, all the nuclear weapons treaty was signed and no nuclear weapons were allowed to be detonated ever again. And Edward Teller said we would have major advancements by 1965. What kind of major advancements was he talking about, right? And then there's a few more people here. I'm just going to kind of skip through the rest of these in the sake of time, but you guys can check it out yourself if you want. Now, go back to the top of this. Project Ripple. What is Project Ripple? Let me go full screen here for this. We'll come back to that. Project Ripple refers to a classified U.S. nuclear weapons program from the early 1960s, developed by the Lawrence Radiation Laboratory, now Lawrence Livermore National Laboratory. Okay, so it is Lawrence Livermore. And LRL got renamed. They always just rename everything. It involved an innovative thermonuclear bomb design tested during Operation Dominic in 1962. The last U.S. atmospheric nuclear test series. So this was the last time we ever detonated nuclear weapons. The design was groundbreaking for its ripple concept, which used layered materials and pulse shaping, multiple timed shocks coalescing into a single compressed wave to achieve unprecedented fusion efficiency. What did we just say about four-wave mixing, chat? I'm starting to feel everything come together here. Let me read that again. The groundbreaking ripple concept used layered materials and pulse shaping, multiple time shocks coalescing into a single compressed wave to achieve unprecedented fusion efficiency. Now, if I were to imagine what's happening in the MH370 videos, you have your three plasma orbs converging perfectly symmetrically on MH370, and then they form into a bubble. They form into a single wave that is tunneling straight through space-time and appearing somewhere else. And now when I looked at it, I go, man, this is like, you couldn't have the words on the paper any better to describe what I think is going on with the MH370 videos. So the result was a clean fusion bomb. A clean fusion bomb with a high fusion to fission ratio. So what we've done here is we've minimized the fission bomb portion, the A bomb portion, and we maximize the H bomb portion, the fusion bomb portion. So now we're already saying, okay, let's get rid of the H bomb. Now we just want the fusion bomb side of it. And then what's the next step, chat? What do you guys think the next step is? Oh, a neutronic. We don't want the neutrons at all. We want pure energy conversion. Pure energy. I keep thinking in the back of my head, Hal Puthoff Hal Puthoff's email response. I'm not familiar with that technology. It doesn't look like anything to me. I don't know. I have no idea how aneutronic fusion could be connected to the polarizable vacuum model. Beep, boop, beep, boop. Dude, it's like Yoda not knowing what the force is. Okay. And it says, this resulted in a high fusion to fission ratio, minimizing radioactive fallout, and a yield to weight ratio potentially 10 times better than modern warheads. So not only does it increase the efficiency, but it also becomes 10 times lighter, probably much more than that. So now your thermonuclear weapon becomes super lightweight, because all you need is your fusion payload can be relatively small. Somebody was asking me, how much pounds of lithium do they need on MH370? And my answer is not a lot, probably a very small amount. In fact, lithium begins to form a chain reaction that keeps going. So I don't even know how much, but it's not probably 500 pounds worth, probably a lot less than that. It pushed towards higher purity fusion reactions in a weaponized context, making it what some describe as the most advanced full-scale fusion device ever tested. However, its bulky volume limited practical deployment, and further development was halted by the Partial Test Ban Treaty, also known as the Limited Test Ban Treaty in 1963, which prohibited atmospheric nuclear tests to curb environmental fallout and arms escalation. So, the Test Ban Treaty, this refers to two agreements, 1963 and 1996. So 1963 was the Partial Test Ban Treaty, which banned nuclear weapons in the atmosphere, outer space, and underwater. And in 1996, the Comprehensive Nuclear Test Ban Treaty prohibited all nuclear explosions, including underground ones, for any purpose whatsoever. The partial treaty was motivated by the Cold War, also public health concerns over the fallout, and arms control. They didn't want things to get too out of control with these weapons. So basically, this established a de facto global memorandum on explosive testing since the 1960s. So in the context of MH370, we basically committed a war crime. Like, we committed a war crime with MH370. We used a thermonuclear weapon that we're not even allowed to use. So this actually now leads me further down the belief that we were showing China what's good with MH370. We were telling China, yep, we own you. We have literally thermonuclear weapons, and we will use them and break the treaties because there ain't nothing you can do about it. There's nothing you can do about it. So I asked the AI to connect the idea of aneutronic fusion. So this is the part where we're broaching now the speculative aspect of this. Like, how does aneutronic fusion, the Ripple project, and space-time manipulation come together? The interconnected significance of these elements lies in the dual nature of fusion technology, blurring the lines between peaceful energy research and nuclear weapons advancement. Project Ripple exemplified early efforts to maximize fusion yield in bombs that directly inform modern civilian fusion power research, such as laser-driven inertial confinement fusion at the NIF, the National Ignition Facility. Aneutronic fusion amplifies this by promising a cleaner energy, but also enabling hypothetical pure fusion weapons, devices achieving explosive yields without a fission trigger, thus avoiding fissile material controls, producing less fallout, and potentially delivering targeted neutron radiation effects. So the test ban treaties were pivotal in stopping these projects and limiting weapons evolution through explosive testing. So think about this. This is so crazy. I think I'm right, chat. I think I'm right. Like, we the aneutronic fusion, we created a pure fusion bomb, and the aneutronic component made it even more efficient. And the moment we figured it out, we banned everybody else from researching it. We banned everybody from researching it. No tests, no research, no escalation. How weird is the timing of the partial test ban treaty 1 year after Project Ripple? 1 year after Project Ripple, they're like, okay, nobody's allowed to do this anywhere in the world. Like, we figured out how to manipulate space-time. We figured out efficiencies of pure fusion bombs way higher than anything else. Yeah, W gatekeeping in the chat, guys. W gatekeeping in the chat. Hopefully we got rid of all the schizos, so they're not going to destroy us, because that's what's going to happen with this technology. Only the high IQ futurists who realize that we have to enlighten ourselves to the next level are in the chat right now. So then I asked it to explain how we can connect to Hal Puthoff's polarizable vacuum model. So the AI is going to be wrong here. And I expected the AI to be wrong here. Why? Because if the AI was able to get this right, then it would be public knowledge. Again, the AI is just a database, and the world doesn't know this information. So the AI can never get this information correct, because the sources it's using, there's all sanitized sources that don't understand these concepts. So here's what the AI said, because you can still learn from this, even when the AI is wrong. So why does the AI think that you can't do this to manipulate space-time? Let's see what it says. It says, the polarizable vacuum model allows for space-time manipulation in principle through vacuum engineering. A clean fusion bomb could not achieve this due to insufficient energy densities, lack of control, and incompatibility with the required negative or precisely modulated energy forms. Well, that's all wrong. That's all wrong. Like, that's a terrible argument. We can't achieve the energy densities? Bullshit, we can't achieve the energy densities. The AI just told me that the fusion bombs were achieving energy densities that are completely unprecedented. So what? How do you jive those two thoughts in your head? Do the aneutronic fusion bombs produce super high energy densities, or do they not? And again, energy density is just a matter of you take this energy and you compact it to a small area, right? As opposed to having it expand out everywhere. And it also says, oh, we don't have precise enough control. We don't have precise enough control. That's the whole point. Isn't the whole thing about pulse shaping? This is where the perfect equilateral triangles come into play. Why are we seeing these perfect equilateral triangles? Because they're able to have precise control over the waves. If you have a perfect equilateral triangle, you have perfect compression, concise, perfect control over your waves. So I basically pushed back and I said, your response contradicts itself. Like, you're literally saying that we have these energy requirements and you can achieve them. And so then what it says after that, because I have it connect to the idea of wormholes. And it says, there's no way that you can do this, even with wormholes. The power advantage over an A-bomb is real, but it's irrelevant. Why? Because the gaps in energy density and the lack of negative energy are too vast. Once again, the AI is wrong. Once again, the AI is wrong again. Why? Because what did Matt Visser find out? What did Matt Visser and Eric W. Davis teach us? They taught us that we only need an arbitrarily small, quote unquote, an arbitrarily small amount of negative energy. We don't need a huge amount of negative energy. Why? Because we can create a polyhedral configuration and a spinning wormhole. And these things, the centrifugal motion of the spinning wormhole and the polyhedral configuration, minimize the negative energy requirement. So now that impossibly high amount of energy that we need has now been significantly lowered. So I had the AI, I said, hey, AI, I appreciate your response, but I told the AI, the negative energy requirement can be reduced to an arbitrarily small amount, according to Matt Visser and Eric W. Davis, using this polyhedral. So then they review it and they go, and the AI's final response is, while Visser and Davis show that negative energy can be dialed down arbitrarily in optimized polyhedral spinning setups, A clean fusion bomb lacks the negative structured and topological elements needed. I would argue the exact opposite. I would argue the exact opposite. According to Salvatore Pais, the way we achieve the negative energy requirement is we hit the Schwinger limit. The Schwinger limit is the ceiling on how much energy density space-time can contain before it collapses. And when space-time collapses, that's your negative energy. It goes from our what we call our false vacuum, which is what we think of as outer space, to the true vacuum where you remove the 0-point energy, the true vacuum. And there's your negative energy right there. So that's what our negative energy. So to me, the AI simply is not understanding the concept of negative energy because it's using the mystical Harry Potter swirly purple substance idea of negative energy. And it says, it's like trying to build a bridge with dynamite alone. Explosive power doesn't equate to engineering the right form. I agree entirely, Grok. That's why we're not using explosive power. In fact, we're doing the opposite of explosive power. We're creating an implosive effect, not an explosive effect. So the reason why Grok doesn't understand is Grok is thinking, oh, your energy is going to disperse everywhere. No, we're using inertial confinement fusion. Inertial confinement fusion causes an implosion. And what happens in an implosion, chat? The energy density goes up when you implode something. Booyah. Let's go, fam. Let's go. Okay. Hopefully there was no North Korean terrorists or narco-terrorists that were listening to that, because there you go. Just gave you the secrets. That was a secret sauce. Project Ripple. Highly suspect that Project Ripple figured out space-time manipulation. Then we figured this out. We've been hiding it. This is why Trump is out there going, we got weapons nobody understands. Out there saying that the Russians can't say the N-word. How dare you say the N-word, Russia? That's our word. That's our word. You're not allowed to say it. We're going to send our secret undetectable submarine off your coast. And if you say anything, we're going to hit you. If you even dare to do anything with your little drones, then we're going to hit you with our aneutronic pure fusion bombs that send you to the Andromeda galaxy. Good luck. And as I was saying yesterday, I'm not going to believe in any alien crap until somebody tells the truth about these plasma fusion propulsion drones that we got flying around. Because I almost guarantee these UFOs people are seeing are not aliens. We're just out there testing our plasma orbs, especially the configuration, because we have to get the configuration perfect. Configuration can't be just good. It's got to be perfect. And what are they using for that configuration? Quantum computers. How are they making it so they have perfect precision on the orbs when they converge together? You see the heat signatures in the orbs spinning around. Quantum computers are the things that they're using for that. That's why that we've had these quantum computers, and then that's why the public is now building AI quantum computers as well. There you go, fam. You got your science. Hope you got your science in for the day, because now I'm going to start pissing people off, chat. Now we're going to start pissing people off. Okay. Quick shout out. Saturday, because Ian Carroll, Flat Earth Ian, that's his new nickname, because Flat Earth Ian and dipshit Dave Smith were too afraid, they have no balls whatsoever, because they were too much of a coward to debate me on the Charlie Kirk situation. I'm going to debate Chad from the Investigate Earth podcast on Saturday. Okay, so come check that out. You can talk about the bullets can't go through your magic spine or your magic bullet or whatever the heck else you want, right? We're gonna talk about it all. We're gonna get it all out there, air everything out. We're gonna do it. There won't be any Dark Ashton. We're gonna do it very respectfully, chat. So you schizos out there, don't get too upset. Okay, let me change gears real quick before we get to that though. I want to take a look at these Trump tweets. Oh, did I not pull them up? Oh, I got to pull them up real quick. Oh, actually, I want to look at this first. The drone situation. So actually, Putin actually just straight up admitted the drones were Russia, by the way. So I don't know, like, I told you guys that whole drone fiasco was almost certainly Russia. And Putin basically said it's him. So I don't know why people are out here still talking about it being like aliens and UFOs or whatever. And it shouldn't be that surprising. Where were the drones showing up? The drones were showing up right next to Russia. They were showing up in European countries that are like bordering with Russia. So of course these mysterious drones are Russian. Russia's like trying to flex, trying to scare people, trying to do their thing, right? So here's Putin. Let's just listen. It's only 1 minute long.
Владимир Владимирович, а зачем вы
Oh, yeah, I can understand this. He's speaking Russian, so whatever.
Не буду больше.
Да, не надо.
Больше не буду. Не буду больше ни во Францию, ни в Данию, ни в Копенгаген. Куда еще ты летишь?
Chat, I'm not like a fan of Putin, but I kind of like him. I kind of like him because he doesn't really give a crap, you know? I mean, he's like a dictator, right? And does whatever he wants, but he just kind of doesn't give a crap about anything. You got to respect that at least, you know, a little bit.
Да везде долетают.
Whatever. I sent some drones to Denmark. Screw it, bro. He's like, what are they going to do about it? They don't got shit.
Развлекаются люди, которые когда-то развлекались по поводу
Wait, does he actually speak in English here?
Летающих объектов.
Is this just in Russian the whole time?
Ну, там столько чудаков, как и у нас, кстати говоря. Ничем не отличается.
Oh, yeah, I understand what he's saying.
Там они сейчас будут запускать вам каждый день.
I secretly speak Russian.
Каждый день больше.
Okay, I guess he doesn't speak English here. Okay, so what he says is, he's saying, oh, you know, I think we've had enough fun with the drones for now. I promise no more drone launches in Denmark. We wouldn't want to spoil their beautiful landscapes, would we? That's his response. Let me read that one more time for you guys. I mean, this is about as clear as you can. Oh, you know, I think we've had enough fun with the drones for now. I promise no more drone launches in Denmark. We wouldn't want to spoil their landscapes, would we? Interesting. So, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and say it's probably Russia on those drones. Okay. If there are still some conspiratards in the chat right now, out there, here we go. Time to get triggered. I have been under nonstop attack by these people, and I couldn't be more happy to expose them. You will be filling out an apology form. I told you so. You will be filling it out. If you think you're going to get out of this without filling out an apology form, I have been saving your posts. I have been saving your posts. And if you think I'm obnoxious now, wait until we get to the trial and all your stupid questions, all the gaps in the story. That means Israel did it. It's like the fact that there's no evidence that Israel did is the real evidence that Israel did it, right? Like these people, I'm going to be so obnoxious later on posting this, making you fill out the apologies form. So Clint Russell out there, if you thought I was talking down to you before, Clint Russell, I'm going to destroy this guy's political career. He's a failed politician that was trying to be in the Libertarian Party. Flat Earth Clint Russell, get ready. That's your new moniker, buddy. Everybody who's been pushing this schizo crap about Charlie Kirk, you basically get the Flat Earth moniker from now on. That's going to be your new moniker. How do these people think this was going to play out? Like, these people are so dumb. How did they think this was going to play out? By attacking me over MH370. They're the ones who are claiming that everything's a conspiracy. They're literally saying that everything's a conspiracy and the FBI always lies. And then they drop the mask, right? They drop the mask and they go, you're the guy that believes in the magical alien orbs. So you're saying that you don't believe in the videos and you never did? Yes, that's what they've been saying the whole time. They never really believed in the MH370 videos. They always thought it was kooky. And the crazy part is they're the hypocrites. They're the ones that believe that everything is fake. But they don't believe in the real videos. So here's how it can play out. Let's say the MH370 videos are fake. Well, that would mean the government doesn't lie, right? That would mean if the government's telling the truth about MH370, then that proves you just to be a nut job because you think that the government lies about everything. That proves you to be a hypocrite. Alternatively, let's say the MH370 videos are real. So these are the two options. They're either fake or they're real. If they're fake, then you have proven yourself, your whole ethos, your whole belief system to be wrong, that the government always lies. Apparently they don't sometimes. But if the videos are real, then what just happened? What did you just do by attacking me? By claiming that the videos are silly and that, of course, Charlie Kirk was secretly assassinated by Israel. You just burnt the bridge with the guy who solved the biggest aviation mystery in world history. You just burnt your bridge with the guy that solved the biggest conspiracy ever. And the secret is you are the conspirators that believe that everything's a conspiracy. How do you think that's going to play out in the future? This is the problem, guys. You're not even thinking down the road here. And how is this going to play out when all the evidence gets released in court and we get the coroner report that they claim doesn't exist? Of course it exists. The autopsy is legally required by Utah. So of course it exists. How is that going to play out when that gets presented in court? I know how it's going to play out. They're going to say, I was just asking questions. I never said that it didn't exist. I never said that Israel didn't do this. I was just asking questions. Nope, there's going to be no backtracking because you kept doubling down. There's going to be no backtracking because you kept doubling down over and over and over again. And there's people saying, there's no possibility that 30-06 could have been used. It's impossible. No, that's your opinion. And your opinion is based on schizo nut jobs on the internet. Now, somebody pointed this out, is that me humiliating these people, me just brutally humiliating them is important because I need to break their egos. Their psyche needs to be destroyed so that it can be rebuilt from the ground up. We've actually reached a problem now where these people have gone completely off the walls. You've got Theo Vaughn, the podcaster. He made a really bad joke about self-harm that was really scary. It didn't sound like a joke. And then so he made this video like yesterday saying, I would never harm myself. Hey, Israel, I would never harm myself. He says something like that. And you're just wondering, dude, what? Like, bro, you are not that important. Literally nobody cares about what Theo Vaughn has to say. He's a literal cokehead turned podcaster. You're not influential. You have no control over politics whatsoever. You're not that important. Israel never is going to care about you. Some of these people have this really crazy inflated sense of self-worth. And this is the thing that needs to get broken down, is I didn't realize how bad the situation was before all this. But like the Charlie Kirk situation really showed how people have just gone completely cuckoo over it. So let me go ahead. I'm going to replay this clip from Ryan Matta because I can't get enough of this clip. Ryan Matta has been one of the three, in my opinion, top people on at least X pushing disinformation about Charlie Kirk. And it is disinformation. You're flooding the zone with fake crap nonstop, constantly promoting Candace Owens garbage, who's never produced one shred of evidence. She keeps saying she has this evidence and she never produces it. Literally just never produces it. So let me play this clip again because I want you guys to realize that Ryan Matta is one of the dumbest people on the face of the earth. Literally one of the dumbest people on the entire face of the earth. So that you understand when you're listening to these people, you're taking your content, you're absorbing content from the dumbest people on the planet. And that's why you're being led down these crazy rabbit holes where you believe there's gaps in the story. Because you're listening to stupid people that don't know anything. They know nothing whatsoever. So here we go.
It makes me question all those UFO videos and all he's finding. He's just magically this one dude who gets lucky enough to get the magic video leaked to him that magically shows a military. Like that had come from somebody in our military. He would have had to leak that video, and he just got that lucky to get it and become this whistleblower, and he's leading this conspiracy about crafts and blah, blah, blah.
Okay, this is great. I love this part right here because these are the people. Ryan Matta went into my replies like a week ago and claimed that he was a big supporter of me and how disappointed he was. But he literally doesn't know anything about the videos. He claims that the videos were leaked to me. They weren't, right? They were just on the Regicide Anon channel since 2014. And he claims that I'm being a whistleblower. No, I'm not. I've never claimed to be a whistleblower. So this is the best part, is these people are all complete and total phonies. What they're upset about is that I ruined their grift.
And now he's so hell-bent on attacking me and Ian. Who does that? That's disgusting.
I'll tell you who does it, bro. Somebody that knows that you're grifting off of people, that knows that you're lying, that knows that you're literally defending and helping a murderer. And all you do is push clickbait garbage content for money while you're literally helping a murderer. A source who wishes to remain anonymous. Let me make it bigger for you guys. A source who wishes to remain anonymous just sent me this DM. I can only post 4 photos. The next 4 will be posted in the comments of this post. Ashton, with his top secret clearance and expertise in JWCC integrated biodata systems, could assist in pinpointing the exact location of Charlie Kirk's assassination, using the cross-referencing the Hades ISR feeds with sanitized EHR records, revealing low-altitude loitering patterns of the Leidos. This is literally they just took like random words and just stuck them together. Somebody was messing with Ryan Matta in this, and he actually thought it was real. If you are following Ryan Matta still after this, like, you are just one of the dumbest people on the whole planet. With sisters Lauren and Sarah. I don't have any sisters, by the way, chat. Let's just try to determine, do you think Ryan Matta took this seriously? Like, how stupid is Ryan Matta? Did Ryan Matta actually fall for this? Let's find out. I can post this, correct? You just don't mention your name or where it came from? Absolutely. I just want to say an anonymous source. I'm a small account, and I'm not done figuring out the grand scheme. I don't want to blow my cover. Ryan Matta literally believed this. This is the guy that you guys are trusting for your schizo Israel conspiracies. This guy has no connection to reality whatsoever. How could somebody read that and actually think that was real? Think about how stupid you have to be sent this and actually think this is real.
Imbalance.
God damn, chat. God damn, it's gonna get worse. If you thought that was bad, if you thought Ryan Matta was a complete idiot for believing some schizo AI nonsense that somebody sent him in a DM, he literally believed it. He believed it. His response was absolutely genuine. He had the blowing my mind emoji from the first most nut job paragraph that he read out of there. It gets worse for Ryan Matta. I could not believe this. I couldn't believe that this actually gets worse for him right here. Take a look at this. Ryan Matta is quite literally a flat earther. He's literally unironically a flat earther, chat. Here he is. I just happened to look through his feed, and there I see him unironically like begging the flat earthers to do a collaboration with him. Flat Earth Dave would love to come by on any podcast and explain flat Earth and how gravity is fake. Are you kidding me? How gravity is fake? Okay. I'm not the expert. I'm just smart enough. Yeah, you're smart enough to understand water doesn't bend around a ball. Oh my God, chat. Oh my God, chat. It's called surface tension. It's called surface tension, chat. Here you go, Ryan Matta. Go ahead and take a little bit of water and pour a little water on the table in front of you. And then you can wonder why the water doesn't just spread all the way around the table. Why does the water not just spread all the way around the table when you drop it on the table? Oh, why does it form into little clusters? Oh, it's something called surface tension. Have you ever heard of that before? Jesus, man. How can this be real? How can this be real? It's like these people just destroy themselves. Absolutely destroy themselves. Hey, Wizlet, which is Austin, which, by the way, Austin Wentz, this guy right here, Wizlet gets it or whatever. I don't even know how to say his name. Oh, yeah, they hate me. They hate me, chat. They hate me because they hate science. They hate the scientific method. Austin went to Antarctica. Because they have some weird view where, like, it proves, like, if they go to Antarctica, like, the sun should set in Antarctica because they think we're on a pancake Earth or something like that, which makes no sense at all. So somebody paid for him to go to Antarctica in the summertime so they could see that the sun never sets. So they basically went to Antarctica and they watched the sun rotate all the way around to realize that the sun never sets. They just completely annihilated the whole flat Earth movement. And so the guy had to admit, he saw the 24-hour sun, and he had to admit that he was wrong. And like, these people are still they're still all in on the flat earth psyop. You know what? It actually doesn't even surprise me. It doesn't surprise me that flat earth, because here's the thing. The flat earth and the Israel conspiracy stuff is exactly the same, right? It starts off as a LARP, right? And this is what happened with flat earth. Flat earth was just a LARP. It was just people joking around. It literally started off as people joking around because it was so stupid nobody would ever believe it. But the problem is people are so dumb that they like start to buy into their own bullshit, and it becomes this self-perpetuating thing. And they're in these bubbles, in these circles where they don't have nobody from the outside. So they think that, oh, they keep getting reinforced by other idiots. And this is how flat earth becomes like a real thing that people unironically begin to believe in. And this is the same thing as the Israel conspiracy schizo stuff. Is like it's so nonsensical that nobody who has a logical mind would ever even think that that's even possible. And it's the same with all these schizo Israel people, is that it starts off as a genuine idea, but it's mostly just a LARP. Like, yes, Israel bad. But the next thing you know, people are unironically believing it. Unironically believing that Israel's literally responsible for every problem on earth. And Charlie Kirk actually spoke out against this. Charlie Kirk specifically spoke out against this. Very specifically. In fact, I'll play that clip one more time for you guys. Because the funny part is these guys are trying to like lie about Charlie Kirk, and he's the one that was talking about them.
The internet of people that want to point and blame the Jews for all their problems. Everybody, this is demonic and it's from the pit of hell, and it should not be tolerated. Period.
I mean, there you go. That was only a few weeks before he died. That was like a month or two before he died. Charlie Kirk is saying, because he saw these people and they live in this corner of the internet. So I want to read off. What is the? Oh, I had a little paragraph set up. Where'd it go? Here it is. This was actually great. I saw this on the internet. I want to read this for you guys. The brain rot. They say, here's how the low IQ conspiratards work, right? This is how they work. The art of the low IQ conspiracy theories is to ask a bunch of questions and say nothing that makes sense without asserting anything. The cardinal sin of a conspiratard is to make a definitive claim that can be scrutinized. So the way that I automatically win every argument against Flat Earth Ian and dipshit Dave Smith and all these other guys, Flat Earth Ryan, is because all you have to say to shut them down completely, because we know they're not, and this is just like the Redditors, they're not willing to pose a hypothesis. They're not willing to pose anything. They're just asking questions. They're just insinuating things. So all you have to say is, who do you think killed Charlie Kirk? And then it ends. And it ends because they can't pose any idea. Then their response, like they're so brainwashed, you already know what they're going to say. They always say, I don't know. That's what they say every single time. Well, if you don't know, then you can't claim that Tyler Robinson didn't do it. You're saying that you know Tyler Robinson didn't do it, but you don't have any evidence for anybody else doing it. This is like the Redditors claiming they know the videos are fake, but they don't know what happened to MH370. They know the videos are fake, but they have no idea where the plane is. Right? Exact same arguments. The Redditors are exactly the same as the flat earthers. Exactly the same arguments. And I hope there are Redditors in the chat. I unblocked all of them because I want to teach them too. I want to break down their psyches so that they can learn from how dumb they've been and eventually learn to be good people in this world. That's what we need to have happen. We need to break their psyches and we need them to come back to the side of reality once again. So me doing all this, I'm not paid by Mossad. Shit, I would do this for free. I enjoy humiliating people like this. It's fun. So let's get to the next thing though. We've done enough. Next thing here. Oh, and the last thing related to this is, why is this such a huge issue? Because I want to talk about why is this such a big deal? They're literally helping a murderer with this schizo crap. Tyler Robinson is the one that shot and killed Charlie Kirk. It will be proven in a court of law unless they mess up the jury pool. But people say, oh, well, the evidence will come out anyway. So even if we're, doing all this damage, the evidence should come out anyway. The problem is you're tainting the jury pool. They have to go through a list. They have to probably go through hundreds of people to get 12 jurors. Hundreds of people to get 12 jurors. And a lot of those nut jobs are going to be schizos like these people. And I guarantee that the prosecution is going to ask them, do you listen to Candace Owens? If you do, you're gone. They're going to ask that. They are going to ask that to these people. Because they need to have people that are not tainted. Because people are going to come in as jurors, potential jurors, who are going to go, I'm so stupid that it's impossible. It's completely impossible for a 30-06 to have been the bullet that shot Charlie Kirk because of all the disinformation that's being pushed on the internet. So yes, these people are quite literally harming the case. Quite literally harming the case. And I 100% support and believe that TPUSA and Erica Kirk, they need to sue these people. Even if the lawsuit is like potentially not going to work out, they have to sue them to get them to stop. The threat of the lawsuit will get most of these people to stop. Just the threat of the lawsuit will get most of them to stop. And I want to point out that these people they've gone dark. Ian Carroll has not posted in 3 days. Flat Earth Ian has not posted in 3 days on X. Ryan Matt is basically the only one posted. Candace Owens didn't do a live stream today. Ian Carroll last Friday said that he would have his Friday live stream back today, and he didn't have one. At least it's not promoted on X. Dave Smith basically went entirely dark after I started calling him out. He went dark as well. So I guarantee you that these people are talking behind the scenes and they're panicking because they pushed it way too far. They pushed it way too far, and the blowback now is very serious. The blowback now is very serious. Even if they don't get sued, their credibility is permanently destroyed. Permanently destroyed. They will never have credibility ever again. Anytime they try to pose anything else in the future, people will use this against them. I am going to use this against them. Next time they try to pose some other stupid conspiracy crap, we're going to remind everybody that they're flat earthers, that they were literally harming and helping and protecting a murderer. That will be their legacy. So this is what I told people. And Maze Love, she's involved in this as well. Maze Love is an X-Space host. She's also a schizo nut job and flat earther. She also should be branded along with the rest of them. And the reason why I say this, I want to be very fair about this. I'm going to show you Candace Owens' feed right now, okay? Let's take a look if she posted today. Candace Owens has no video up today. She's posted nothing today in the last 24 hours. Here it is. And then we're going to move on to the next topic. She's posted nothing last week. She didn't do a video today at all. I assume she's panicking because the blowback has been very serious on social media. And people are finally waking up to her bullshit because she's promised things like a million times. Let's take a look at Candace Owens' most recent reply. Oh, look at this. It's Maze Love. There she is. There's Maze Love right there promoting Ryan, the flat earth grifter, right there. There she is promoting him. And here's Candace Owens replying right down here. What is she saying? Real Candace Owens needs to connect with flat earth Ryan Matta ASAP. Candace Owens, done. Yes, you're all going to be branded with this for the rest of your lives. No one is ever going to take you seriously, ever. You can live in your schizo corner with the wine moms and the bots and imagine that you have credibility. You have no credibility and you never, ever will. I'll take the deputy director of the FBI on my side, and you can have Candace Owens and flat earthers and other schizos on your side. I'll take that. I'll take that trade-off every day of the week. Every day of the week. Okay. And Z Jalapeno, buddy, I saw you in some of those replies. I saw you, buddy. Just for you people out there, I see you guys. If you're out there and you're, supporting these people, I see you. I see you. I've let some of you off the hook because you've been longtime followers. Just keep that in mind. Okay. We did the narco terrorists. Antifa, chat. Antifa. Let me make sure. Antifa messed up big time. Antifa messed up big time. They attacked Nick Soder, who's a mutual follow of mine. Highly respect him. He went out to Portland, and yesterday night, he got attacked in the middle of the night by Antifa. He got attacked by Antifa, and he defended himself. And then he went to the police. And you know what happened? The police arrested him. This is actually insane. This is insane. Now, I'm going to tell you guys a quick story about this as well. This is the reason why this upset me so much. Something like this happened to me in California, where I was at the dog park, and this crazy lady came in, and she was screaming at Lulu, like screaming at her. And Lulu was kind of reacting because of the way she was screaming at her. And I was afraid she was going to like kick Lulu. So I kind of went up to her, was like, hey, chill out, right? And kind of got in her face, which I probably shouldn't have done, admittedly. And I never touched her at all. And this other guy comes running up to me and attacks me, literally attacks me, throws me to the ground, starts punching me and pinning me against the wall. Nobody helps at all. The police get called. And somebody was like filming as well. The police get called. And the police literally detained me. They detained me. And they even zip tied my hands behind my back and had me sit down. And I'm like, dude, what are you talking about? I'm like, literally the lady was a schizophrenic who comes in screaming at my dog. I never touched her at all. And a random dude attacked me. And they're like, well, you're the aggressor because like you got in her face or something like that. I was like, dude, fuck you. And so, of course, I was totally calm and what have you. And so then I just keep saying, like, this lady over here has a recording of it. She has it on her phone and she's like, has it in her hand. I was like, go watch her video. Go look at her video and you'll see this guy literally attacking me while I'm not even fighting back. And they go look at the video and they come back and they go, well, we're not going to arrest you. I'm like, arrest me? I was like, you need to arrest the guy that just attacked me. Like literally attacked me and punched me several times. But again, this is California where like you can be a schizophrenic nut job and like you just lie to the police and they'll just believe you. Even when like literally looking at a video of being attacked. And this is why I got so upset about, I mean, I didn't really post about it, but the Nick Soder thing, because this is what happens, man. And yes, people say you should have charged him. They actually told me that I could call the police up after the report got filed and press charges against the guy. I ended up not doing it because I'm just a nice person and I just didn't care that much. Like, what do I need to ruin some guy's life over this? Whatever. You know, it's just not that big a deal. And also just because I was lazy, but I probably should have, honestly, especially if I knew what I knew now. I mean, this was several years ago, but so the Nick Soder thing, you know, he gets arrested. He got arrested for disorderly conduct for defending himself against Antifa nut jobs. So finally, we are going to see action. And it wasn't a woman that beat me up. Chill out. It was a guy. A guy came in he was trying to white knight the woman or whatever. So where is it? Here we go. So now what has happened? This is actually the straw that's going to break the camel's back right here. Like all of a sudden now you've got Harmeet Dillon. And you've got Tulsi Gabbard, and you've got, what's her name? Pamela, whatever her face is. They're all basically saying, like, we are now sending the military in. The military is now going to be sent into Portland. They've already, today in Chicago, they set up the barriers. And basically now if you're protesting in Chicago, you have to be in a designated protest zone. This stuff is going to basically end all the nonsense. Because once these people are segmented into a protest zone, now it's not fun anymore for them. Once the military shows up, now the game's over now. You and you're playing your LARP with your dress up in all black or whatever, you're going to get your head beat in. You're going to prison. And they've guaranteed people are going to prison. Yeah, Pam Bondi, thank you very much for about that. So it's about time. Now, I'm not going to show all the videos. I am going to be looking tonight to see if we can get some more. But Benny Johnson has been hanging out with Kristi Noem today, pulling up illegals, detaining them and what have you. And now Chicago, they're building a massive new facility. Look how big this facility is for processing all the illegals and deporting these people, getting rid of them. Look at this massive facility. So basically, Antifa FA'd, and they're about to FO in a major, major way. In fact, I kind of hope Antifa tries to step it up because now the big guns have been pulled out. Now people are going to be going to prison for a long time too. You don't want to get a charge for assaulting an officer. If you get lucky, you just get resisting arrest if you're lucky. So these people are not messing around anymore. And if I was an Antifa, I mean, I would be very afraid at this point. And it's about time. It's about time. It's time to take the cities back. It's time to take the cities back from these people who are holding the residents hostage, essentially, all the time. We looked at a video the other day about it. So I could not be more satisfied with it. Now, I do want to highlight somebody. Carlin. She has been on InfoWars and getting some space. She's been infiltrating some of these Antifas and what have you. And I don't normally do shout outs for people, but there's so little content of journalists who are reporting on this. There's only a few of them that are doing it. And even right now, she's got her live stream up right here. So if you want to watch the live protests and follow along with it, here you go. She's got it up. So if you're interested in following along like live with what's going on here, check her out. Shout out to Carlin. Her username is Dr. Carlin B, at Dr. Carlin B. Check her out. Pretty nice girl. And she's been a real supporter of MH370 as well. She's been a real supporter. Not one of these phony people, but somebody, came in. I've always believed you, what have you. So there you go. Nice. Okay. Next thing, the Hamas ceasefire chat. Oh, no. Did I lose my Hamas ceasefire post? I did. Okay. Let me pull it up again real quick. The Hamas ceasefire. So Hamas technically, in principle, agreed to a ceasefire. This is big because, of course, now I'm a political influencer and everybody's been saying that I'm sold out to the Israelis or whatever. So I personally don't care what people believe. Say whatever you want to say. Here's the thing about this. I'm going to put a prediction out here now because now I'm a big political influencer. Everybody's got to respect my opinions and things like that. I don't think we should jump the gun on this. I'd say the possibilities of this coming to fruition are about 50-50. 50-50 is what I'm going at right now. That's where we're going to keep it cautious because Hamas didn't agree to all the terms. Basically, if you haven't been paying attention, President Trump came out and said, you've got until Sunday. You've got until Sunday to agree to our peace terms or you are going to be annihilated. You are going to be annihilated off the face of the earth. And when President Trump says that, well, we got magical space orbs. We got magical alien orbs, chat. So, yeah, you're going to get annihilated 100%. So Hamas at first rejected it, or there were reports they rejected it, which would have been the dumbest move they've possibly ever done. They would have been just turned to glass if they did. And now they're claiming, here's their response. Basically, Hamas said, we appreciate the efforts. They say, in the manner that achieves the end to the war and the full withdrawal from the Strip, the movement announces its approval of releasing all occupation prisoners, both living and remains. So I assume that means that not all of them are still alive. And it says, according to the exchange formula contained in President Trump's proposal, with the necessary field conditions for implementing the exchange. This movement affirms its readiness to immediately enter through the mediators into negotiations. So basically, they're saying we're willing to negotiate, and we will release these hostages and the people that they, killed or whatever. But then it says the president, they need to have the inalienable rights of the Palestinian people. So it's kind of like they agreed, but they didn't quite agree to everything. So everybody's playing this up like, President Trump's going to win the Nobel Peace Prize. He solved this situation. But until those hostages are released, you can't really say much about it. Until those hostages are actually released, because how many hostages were there? 48, I think. 48 hostages. What happens if there's only like 5 left alive? Or what happens if they just don't release the hostages? Because they're already dragging their heels saying it's going to take longer than 72 hours to release the hostages. Why does it take longer than that? Literally just let them go, bro. Just let them go, right? It should be a thing you can do right away. So I would say be cautious about this. And Hamas, if you're out there, Hamas, I would say Hummus, if you're out there, Hummus, you go ahead. You're going to want to listen. You're going to want to go ahead and do whatever President Trump tells you, because if they don't, you're going to get kiss yourself goodbye. That Hamas will be annihilated very swiftly if they do not do whatever President Trump says. This isn't a matter of me being on one side or the other. It's just you're in the big leagues. You know, you're coming from the little kids table, and now you stepped up to the big leagues, and you have no chance whatsoever. No chance whatsoever. Okay, so ICE has been upgraded. Hamas has been falling apart. Now, let me take a look at what I got here. Two last things tonight. The transgender situation. My opinion when it comes to transgenderism, homosexuality, is you can sleep with whoever you want. You can do what to your body, whatever you want as well. My only concern is for children who cannot consent. Children under the age of 18 who cannot consent. And I'm worried about that because of propaganda. Propaganda. It turns out there's been a big push online to cancel Netflix from the conservative right because they found a bunch of shows on the internet that are really just showing transgender and homosexual propaganda in children's shows. Children's shows. And now I'm not somebody for cancel culture and all that stuff in general. I'm not really big on like, oh, the satanic panic and the moral outrage. But one of these actually really bugged me. One of these really, really bugged me when I was watching one of these clips. In fact, I've seen, Camp Cretaceous or whatever it's called. Cretaceous. I don't know. The Jurassic Park one for kids. It was actually, the first season was actually pretty decent. You know, I'll admit, I watched it. But they do have like a lesbian kissing scene in it, which is kind of okay. But, you know, the kids are supposed to be teenagers and, you know, they're exploring love. So it didn't really bother me or anything like that. I didn't have any problem with it. I didn't think it was really like that bad for propaganda. But some of the stuff they're showing is like for like 5-year-olds. For kids that are like less than 10 years old, some of these shows are. And this one in particular is a Babysitter's Club. Babysitter's Club episode where a little girl, well, I'm not even going to say it. Let's just watch it together.
We finally found a file for a Bailey Del Vecchio. Is 32 Burn Hill Road still the current address? Yeah. Have you been getting influence?
Little boy is, chat. How old do you think that little boy is in the hospital bed? 6 years old? 7 years old? Let me just go back a second here. How old do you think this kid is supposed to be in this hospital bed? That looks like 6 or 7 years old, if I had to guess. Let's see what happens here next.
Can I please talk to you two outside? I know.
Marianne.
Dad. Oh, Marianne.
What in the actual hell was that? Can you find me a non-blue hospital gown? That girl's like a 12-year-old girl talking down to doctors and nurses. This doesn't happen in the real world, chat. I've got 20 years experience in healthcare IT. If a little girl ever said this to a doctor, they would just have them leave. Bye, little girl. Get the hell out of here. Why you're talking down to a doctor? There is no such thing as transgender children. That's not a thing that exists. If you have a transgender 7-year-old, it's called you have a mental problem and you've turned your kid, you've projected your own mental illness onto your child. There is literally no such thing as a transgender 5-year-old, 6-year-olds or 7-year-old. I don't know who wrote that, but whoever they are, you need to go look at their computer. You need to go, the FBI needs to dig into their computer. That show should be canceled. That show should be canceled. That is propaganda. That is straight up brainwashing propaganda. I wouldn't support it if it was schizo-Israel stuff. I wouldn't support it in any context, any propaganda context. And I definitely don't support it in this context because when kids watch that, they think it's cool to be transgender. They think if I'm a little kid, I'm supposed to change my gender around and I'm supposed to talk down to doctors. Like, it's just the most sick thing I've ever watched. So when I saw that, the very next thing I did was cancel my Netflix subscription. I've been a Netflix subscriber since 2016 consistently. That's almost 10 years consistently. And the first thing I did this morning was I canceled my Netflix subscription, and I said, no more sick child transgender crap. Like, that is completely unacceptable. There's no context in which that video is acceptable. None at all. None at all. And whoever promoted it, whoever allowed it to be on there, they should lose their jobs. 100% they should lose their jobs. I mean, this is the reason why so many people are growing up with mental illness. And I didn't realize how bad the problem is. This is why everybody's got septum rings in their nose. This is why everybody's pretending to be their wrong gender, because they're consuming this propaganda crap that's exact opposite of reality. And it works. Propaganda works, guys. It does. Oh, okay. So, and again, if you're really transgender, fine, but wait until you're 18, till you're an adult that can make your own decisions. Then you can go ahead and change your gender or whatever you want to do with your life. Because the problem is a lot of these people do this, and then they grow up and they realize all that crap they were fed was fake, but they just didn't realize it because they were a little kid. They didn't realize, oh, this is all propaganda. The same reason why we don't let people under 18 go to war, because you can't make decisions for yourself. If you are not old enough to go to war, you're not old enough to change your gender, okay? You're not old enough to drink or smoke. You shouldn't really be old enough to change your gender, in my opinion. So it's not that I have any problem with transgender people in general. I just have a problem with pushing it on children, which is beyond abhorrent, okay? Okay. I'm not going to stress on it any longer, guys. Okay, guys, we've had an awesome live stream. I might get my live stream canceled right here. This is going to be probably the most controversial video that I'm ever going to play right here. So I'm going to go ahead and issue a disclaimer before I play this video. I don't agree with the words that are being said in this video, and the person who's represented in them has been canceled off of YouTube like a million times, and we're going to see what happens here. But it was too interesting. January 6th, guys, we are currently in the middle of an insurrection, Antifa insurrection attacking ICE. And it reminded me of January 6th, of, you know, how after January 6th, the government crashed down on everybody, threw everybody in prison, threw them all in prison, went after people on social media. Anybody that was arguing against the government, claiming that the election was stolen, they were, throwing them in prison, canceling them from social media. So in spirit of that, we're going to play this clip of my frenemy, Nick Fuentes. Here he is, chat. I don't agree with what's being said here, but we got to just play it. Here we go.
I mean, when men lost, you know what we did? We raged. When men lost in 2020, we went out there and we went to the Capitol and we said, fuck the government. And it was awesome. People were running through the hallways with American flags. It was like Braveheart. It was like the Patriot. We were beating the shit out of journalists, kicking their cameras, kicking them in the face. People were beating up cops. People were lifting up barricades and pushing it against the cops. Cops were getting their faces smashed against the door. Ah! Trump supporters punching them in the face, punching them in the stomach. And, no one died. A couple of them died like a week later. They blamed it. A bunch of them killed themselves. But like that is what happens when men lose. We say, all right, Mr. President, say less. We'll be there in exactly 48 hours. We're bringing walkie-talkies. I didn't do any of that. I peacefully protested. I just want to add that.
Chat, he's the best troll on the internet. Love or hate Nick Fuentes, he's the best troll on the entire internet. My favorite part, I completely lost it when he's like, none of them died. I mean, yeah, a couple of them died like a week later. They tried to blame that on us, but yeah, they all, some of them, took their own life.
Trump supporters punching them in the face, punching them in the stomach. And, no one died. A couple of them died like a week later. They blamed it. A bunch of them killed themselves. But like that is what happens.
I don't support any of that, chat. I was laughing at something else. There was something funny going on over there that I was laughing at. Yeah, that's the maximum troll bait, chat. That is the maximum troll bait. Okay, let's do the super chats, guys, tonight. Let's do the super chats. Okay. By the way, we incepted Nick Fuentes now. We are just living rent-free in his head now. He's thinking about teleportation and warp drives all the time now. Just, it happened. That's what happens. So what happens when you get into the 4 Orbsy. Unchained. Thank you for the can for Unchained. Go. Appreciate it. Woke and Walked. Hey, welcome back to the cookie. Experimental meteorology refers to the practical hands-on application of science and measurement. Oh, metrology. That's what it is. Okay, metrology is the hands-on application of science and measurement. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Welcome, Walk. Raising Cane gave me the cookie. Nom, nom, nom. Delicious cookie. Thank you very much. If you're wondering why I'm doing weird sound effects, that's like a thing kids do now on TikTok, so I'm just playing along. Thank you guys in the Rumble chat. Appreciate it. Rumble will never cancel me. I agree. And then the super chats, Levi, you can only do this with phi. This is the wave function, basically. Otherwise, you get destruction. Phi or phi. Phi is where one wave meets another, and then it holds it in its center non-destructively. Any other geometry would have destroyed the plane. So this is what we're talking about. When we're talking about the wave function, what we're essentially saying is we have to assume there's this extra dimension. We can't see that extra dimension, but then you can rebuild this wave function, and you can basically have an imaginary wave function that travels through this extra dimension and then comes out on the other side. This is entanglement. So that's what we're talking about right there. Thank you very much. The follow-up, the nonlinear medium is the pine cone. Think of an hourglass, standing wave outside the nozzle. It's order, negative entropy. Thank you very much. I appreciate that, sir. 4-wave mixing is why Gary Stevenson says you need 4 directions to make a graviton. It's just a negative energy density. I like to think of it as like in the bathtub, pulling the drain out of the bathtub. But then imagine you're on the surface of the water on the bathtub. You would not really see this negative energy. But when we are outside the bathtub, looking at the bathtub, we can clearly see the bathtub draining, right? We can see the vortex motion of the sinking of the bathtub. Now, that's a crude example, but that's how I think of it. 4th orb, wink, wink. And this is why the 4th orb becomes relevant, because we've got our 3 orbs around our plane. And what's our 4th wave mixing? You have an orb somewhere over here. So if you have your plane and you've got your 3 orbs spinning around it, then what's happening is this 4th orb is shooting a beam at the plane, at the 3 orbs, and you're getting a reflected wave that transmits the plane. In the case of the plane, it's going backwards like this. That's why the 4th wave hypothesis, or the 4th orb hypothesis, is so big. And that's why Dave Rossi brought up the 4th orb hypothesis, because he knows about 4-wave mixing. Whoa! I didn't see this before. Smomoto, I hope you're still in the chat. Thank you very much. This is a huge donation. You do you, but this is where you were made for. The other stuff just doesn't gel. Please push the technology. And I appreciate that. The answer is no. The answer is no. I'm going to keep talking about politics because factually speaking, I just don't really care that much. I just think that when it comes to the technology, we are just so far away from it. And the more I've seen, especially of all this schizo stuff in the last few weeks, I've just realized that we're not even close, man. We're not even close. Like, it's not a matter of going uphill. The hill is a sheer cliff, man. The hill is a sheer cliff. Like, you're like, hey, am I pushing the rock up the hill? No, we're like pushing against a wall. We're not going anywhere. Yes, there are you people in the chat who are the intelligent, high IQ futurists. You are the very, very like 0.001% of people that are interested and understand this technology to be real. And so I'm happy to cater to you guys. I am, but I'm not going to make my whole life about it. Simple as that. I'm not going to make my whole life about trying to educate people that are never going to learn. So I will be, of course, doing science because I love science still. But I'm going to be talking about politics for a long time, if not forever. So for anybody that wants me to talk about other stuff, wants me to make a new YouTube channel, wants me to make a new X thing, that's not going to happen. Doesn't matter how much you ask. Doesn't matter how much you want it. I'm sorry. It is what it is. Take it or leave it. And if you don't like it, you can go to your next 0 Point Energy influencer. Go watch the next 0 Point Energy. There isn't any. There is nobody else. Levi, thank you for that other donation. Appreciate it. Because the black lines are negative energy, and that's where they intersect. They pull space instead of pushing it. It's like opening a door. I agree. That's a very good way to think about it. I appreciate you, sir. And then Alex, I was just on a Zoom call. What? Oh, you were on the Zoom call with Charles Chase. Yeah. I was on the Zoom call with Charles Chase and the people from Jovian discussing the Casimir effect. They are looking for funds to build a prototype. Considering the connections, it's interesting. You should join the next call. Somebody send me that. Actually, somebody sent me that website earlier and I dismissed it. I'm going to look that up. Is it Jovian Corporation? Let me find this. Yeah, Jovian. Okay, I've got it up. Jovian Corporation, 0 Point Energy. Yeah, I'm going to definitely squeeze into those. I'm going to be like stalking Charles Chase wherever he shows up in those stream calls and just have my face show up, be like, I see you, Charles Chase. Tell me about the aneutronic fusion reactor. Tell me about it. Sig Saucer, thank you for that. That was a really good tip, by the way. Thank you very much. Sig Saucer, time travel is the biggest threat. Thank you from the chat. Yes, and really, if you think about it, what is the thing that they're scared of, guys, when it comes to these weapons? They're scared of the fact that we're manipulating time. They're scared of the fact that this weapon, when you manipulate space, you manipulate time. I mean, we're talking about stuff where, like, theoretically, you could destroy the universe. Theoretically. I mean, I don't think we're at that point, but this is, like, how serious the situation is. So when you think about, like, why they hid this stuff, you have to really be considering the extreme examples. I mean, we're talking about destroying the whole planet. Yes. We're talking about destroying the whole solar system. We're talking about destroying the whole universe. We're talking about destroying the time stream, basically, with these weapons, if we were able to scale them up. So we have to be realistic about the threats. And that's another reason why I don't really care about revealing this very quickly, because truthfully, you guys have to realize we are helping our adversaries with this. We are absolutely helping our adversaries catch up. Of course, we are enlightening ourselves and other people, but some of those people we're enlightening are our adversaries. That's why I'm glad that some of the schizo, muzzy people that are obsessed with the Jews are gone. I'm glad they're gone. I don't want them to come back. Those people can never, ever, ever have this technology. They can never have it. In fact, they have to be wiped out before the world is allowed to have it, or they have to change. But the reality is people don't generally change. And I personally believe that this is part of the reason why the United States wiped out Afghanistan, Iran, Iraq, Syria, ISIS, and the reason why we're defending Israel so harshly. Maybe not, maybe there's other reasons too, but that's one of the reasons, is because when it comes to the Israel-Palestine conflict, only one of the two sides is strapping themselves with bombs and blowing themselves up. Only one side is doing that. It's not an equal thing. Only one side is doing that. And the side that's doing that can never have access to this weaponry. Ever. Not ever. That's a harsh thing to say, but we live in a harsh world. And then lastly, where did the plane travel to? The plane traveled to the fourth orb. Anybody that tells you they know exactly where the plane went is lying to you. I'm not one of those people that's going to tell you, oh, yes, the passengers were picked up by the Palladians and they were transported safely to the Andromeda galaxy and they're living in the magical land. No. The science shows that the plane went backwards. The science shows the plane went backwards. That's about all we know for sure. How far backwards it goes? Shit, I don't know. How far back do you go when you slip outside of this dimension, even briefly? Theoretically, you can travel an infinite distance. So, end of the day, we can't say for sure, but the debris that showed up in Africa indicates that the plane was somewhere near the Maldives, near Diego Garcia military base. So, I would speculate Diego Garcia is where it went. And then you guys snuck some more Pill Chat donations in there. John Glock, 3-month diamond tier. I don't even know what diamond tier subscription is. John Glock, thank you very much, John Glock, for the diamond tier subscription. You're the man. And then John Glock gifted the shades. He said, happy birthday to me, 41 years old. Happy birthday, John Glock. Just for you, John Glock. This is just for you. Dark Ashton. I don't do this for anybody. OMG. The shades came out just for you, John Glock. Dark Ashton wishes you a happy birthday. Okay, MH370X. Hope you guys have a great night. Hope you enjoyed. It's time for me to go get a steak. You guys are the bomb. Peace out, everybody. Later.
Out in the fields where the skies are wide, talking about a journey through the cosmic ride. Einstein and Thorne, they set the stage for a trip through time across the space age. Wormholes connect distant galactic points in space. Traversable paths to a far-off place. No black holes pull, no crushing weight. Just a cosmic tunnel to a distant gate.
Talking wormholes, stargates, negative energy. Travel through the cosmos, it's our destiny. MH370, where did it go? Bowling 777 through a wormhole flow. We're talking wormholes, stargates, negative energy. Travel through the cosmos, it's our destiny. MH370, where did it go? Bowling 777 through a wormhole flow.
Exotic matter, negative energy's the key to stabilize the wormhole for you and me. Quantum vacuum, squeeze so tight, creating conditions for this wondrous flight. Static fields and lasers in the lab they play, generating forces in a new kind of way. Gravitational squeezing, Casimir's force, negative zones we need to stay the course.
Talking wormholes, stargates, negative energy. Travel through the cosmos, it's our destiny. MH370, where did it go? Bowling 777 through a wormhole flow.
Thin shell formalism plates so fine. Spherical geometry we realign. Energy conditions that we must defy. For a stable wormhole, let's give it a try. Forces balancing the plate, creating the throat, open the gates, from Earth to the stars in a single bound, a shortcut through space profound. Engineers and dreamers hold the key to future worlds and what we could be. With science in hand, we forge ahead through the cosmic paths that we now tread.
We're talking wormholes, stargates, negative energy. Travel through the cosmos, it's our destiny. MH370, where did it go? Boeing 777 through a wormhole flow.
From the fields to the stars, we break the chains. Understanding the universe, we make the gains. Lil Hula Crunk shines, bringing truth to light. Through his music, we'll explore the night. With wormholes and stargates, our path is clear.